introduction. Now that I know you guys a bit, I do want to dive into more of the specifics of how and why, selling around school, being actively involved with work, amongst college activities, academics, athletics, social time, why it's really important. So, sure. First, I'm going to transition to kind of a beneficial stage. I want you, again, I do like this participation. Raise your hand if you think it's important. Okay, when you start any new activity, it could be in work, outside of work, to ask yourself the question, why am I doing this, right? How does this benefit me, right? So thank you, fantastic. It's important to get to that immediate sense of why. You want to be aware of your actions, mindful, very intentional, right? Because the more intentional you are with what you do, the more people can sense that you're certain, okay? And the more certain you are, that confidence bleeds through. Go ahead and hypothesize, right? Spencer, for you, for example, my friend, you mentioned you want to be in the entertainment industry. So you're going to have to, put yourself out there many a times in the future to come. Think about an interview or an audition in your case, right? People want to see that, that amount of confidence, but that's not going to be there if you don't really fully understand why you're doing what you're doing. So the reason I bring that up for you all today is so you can understand why, you're working with Cutco, kind of get to the bottom of, okay, why am I doing this whole knife job? Okay, let's get on the same page real quick. We sell knives. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Really? I was kind of, I was kind of weirded out when I first started. So I'm glad, okay, that you guys have been here for quite some time, and I'm ready to dive into the why. Okay, so the first thing I want you to go ahead and write down, if you're taking notes, is preparation for success. Okay. As a takeaway from this message, realize that when you sell around school, you will be noticed, not only by your district manager and your division manager, but your region manager, by your peers, by your family members, your friends. Okay. How nice would it be to have Scott Dennis? You guys all know who Scott Dennis is? Mr. Dennis?
Yeah.
Right. Write you a handwritten personal note acknowledging your efforts and the work that you've put in over the past couple of weeks. Okay. How nice would it be to win an All-American scholarship throughout the course of the fall or the spring because of your dedication to yourself? Okay. It's the quickest way to understand the business, guys. So if you're looking, raise your hand if you're looking for management experience in this company, right? Okay. Yeah, Amanda, you being an assistant manager already, go ahead, share a couple of thoughts with your experience as an AM. What has it done for you?
It's definitely taught me to be more responsible and just being able to influence others and how to influence others with the guidance of my partner coach and Mike, of course, and the other coaches.
Nice. I love that. So what I'm sensing is that, you're thinking that it's made you a better leader, in the business and outside. Good. Okay. So that's the main thing, guys. When you're going to be selling, you're going to develop those habits early on so that if you're looking to get into TLA, if you want to secure a spot with management and leadership and you want to develop a portfolio, right, have that resume, selling Cutco is the best way to get to know the business, the ins and outs. Okay. The second thing, right, planning and foresight. Okay. Make a big note, bold this, whatever you need to do. This is very important. Can you still hear me, Mike?
Yep, planning and foresight.
Wonderful. Okay. So after speaking to a fellow manager friend of mine about a year ago who was consistently selling about $1,000 to $3,000 every week around his own high school and college courses, I asked him the question, what does this do for your vision? Right? Trying to kind of dig in, get to understand why was he selling Cutco around school? Right? I'm sure all of you are very busy. You have your school going on, your academic life, then you have, say, athletics if you're in high school. If you're in college, you have other things going on potentially. I said, what does this do for your vision? And very frankly, very aptly, he said, it creates it. And it took me a moment to kind of ponder over that and really think about, okay, what did he just mean? But sincerely, after thinking about that, I realized his hard work and discipline in that moment, at that team meeting, that one phone call, guys, trust me, I can empathize. I know what it's like. After a while, you're like, oh, you're tired. I don't want to make any more calls. But trust me, and trust Mike, the guy who has so much experience and tenure under his belt, who I know for a fact pours his heart and soul into what he does. Guys, the phone is where the job starts. And in that example that I'm giving you guys, his vision, his future was manifested simply, by working hard that 1 week, because in that moment, he was focused on that vision. Next week came, the next week, following week, so on and so forth. All right. So to sell consistently, right, I need to get to know you guys a little bit to understand kind of what your situations are. There's no need to be bashful here. Raise your hand if you know exactly what you want to do as a career. Okay, so a good amount of you, right? One person that hasn't spoken yet, I'd love to hear from you.
Chelsea, Kaylee, Vince. Kaylee, so this is Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea.
So what I want to do with I run a nonprofit called Birthday Candles for Kids.
That's fantastic.
Feel free to like us on Facebook. But what I want to do is I want to have 100 different locations around the nation through my nonprofit before I die. So that's the thing I want to do after this. That's cool.
That is, Chelsea, that is really, really wonderful. How, if I may ask, how did you get involved in that? How did you start that up?
So I'm in theater, and we were talking about the homeless population in Pinellas County. And there's about 7,000 homeless people, and about half of them are under the age of 18. So what we do is we throw birthday parties for homeless foster and orphan children. Okay. So we were in the process of planning my Sweet 16, and it really opened my eyes. These kids get nothing, and I'm getting this $1,000 party. So I
gotcha.
Change it.
Okay. Yeah, well, it seems all of you are very intellectual, very down-to-earth people. And, if I may say so, I think that's very wonderful, what you're doing. And I know as a young individual, it takes, some sort of initiative to get that going. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So with that being said, I'm hoping for you. I'm looking out for the best for you. That comes with discipline. That vision that you have, that's a very, very important, very empathetic thing that you're going to do. The amount of lives that you'll impact, think about the domino effect. Chelsea, if that's something that you want to create and truly manifest, it starts with the discipline day in and day out. And I can see that you're on that great path. So yeah, this job in concordance with what you're doing to help others there, all the best to you in that. Just realize that the discipline that you get from this job, and all of you in this, the discipline that comes from consistently selling around school, it's one of those things that you'll take with you in any facet, in any organization, throughout your entire life. Okay, motivation comes in waves, but discipline is a permanent and a very, very dynamic thing that goes with you. All right. So thank you for that segue, Chelsea. I just wanted to kind of hear someone's perspective on what they wanted to do.
Thank you.
All right. So the third thing I want to talk about as to why, you should sell around school, what kind of benefit can have for you is obviously the income, and not just any part of that, specifically the consistent income, right? I understand for some of you, the motive, again, is, personal building, skills, right? Communication skills. Some of you, it's financial. It could be the works, okay? And then for the large majority of people who work with this organization, they see a benefit in finances for this job that, no other company can offer. Any 19 to 27-year-old, 17 to 27-year-old who wants to go out there, be a young entrepreneur, and make the life that they want to live. So I'm going to quickly touch on this why, dive into a couple things on how, and then I will let you guys get going for the evening so you can go out there, continue to crush it, just be the best version of yourself, step boldly into who you are, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about under that platform of consistent income is the ability to have consistently flowing money, which in turn leads to a more responsible financial decision-making process, right? For a minute, think about someone who wins a lottery, okay? That's a large sum of money that is instantaneously deposited into their account that they retrieve. Take that person one, right, compared against person two, who has worked for decades to create that sum of money. Who do you guys think is going to be more financially fit and mindful about where they spend that money? The person who just got it off a whim, or the person who had been working for it over time?
Person working for it.
Right. Not to be redundant, guys. And I love that you're staying with me here, because that's really important to understand. The more time and energy you put into something, the more invested you are into it. So the more mindful and conscientious you are about where you spend it or take it. So for example, some of you probably made, a grand or two a week this past summer. That is fantastic. That's great income, for a young person. But it's also likely that money, because it was a one-time thing for a week, you're like, oh, I got this one big paycheck. It can be in and out very quickly. But you want to be able to save that. You want to be able to know where to spend that, be financially fit. That comes from consistent paychecks. Week after week after week, you're going to see, your stats, your account, and realize, okay, how do I plan? How do I take this? And how do I put it in a location that will help me long-term? So the gist of me telling you this is for you guys to realize that consistent income is also going to help you with financial freedom and liberty in your adult life. Because, as much as I wish it was taught in classrooms, it really isn't. It's something that you have to go out there. It's a soft skill that you learn. Okay. So take this phrase with you. And if you've been taking notes, right under the 3 whys, write this phrase down. Okay. It's when the why is strong enough, the how will always follow. Guys, I believe that with 100% certainty, without a shadow of a doubt, with true conviction. If you want something bad enough, if something is yearning in your soul to accomplish something, if you really want to be the best version of yourself and truly help the people around you, you'll make it happen. And all of you with the talent I see in this room, with the potential, with your presence, I'm really excited to see where this office goes. So let's talk about 3 things as to actually how you can accomplish this, right? And take it with you. Because I know some of you are probably thinking, yeah, man, this is great and all. Like, I'm sure some people benefit, but look, I don't have time. I promise. So I've been there and I know what that's like. Trust me, I can empathize with you when you say, I don't have time for this. I don't think I just have enough hours in the week to work around classes and whatnot. Trust me when I tell you, you do. If you break down, bathing time, sleeping time, social time, personal, athletics, academics, you'll still have, on average, about 20 to 30 hours where you could work throughout the week. That's doing demos, that's prospecting, that's jamming, making phone calls. So 3 things, all right? The first thing that I want you guys to write down is to get support and tell people. Okay? I'm going to make these very simple, right? How to execute, okay? Depending on how long you've been working with the job, you may have had people call it the knife job, the knife thing. Have any of you ever heard that? Yeah. Cool. So depending on, your level of support from family, that's going to vary and that's going to differ. But one thing is for certain, that's the more you share your goals with the people around you in your circle of influence, the more you hold yourself responsible for those goals as well. Because it's very easy when no one is around you, right? To not be cliche, it's very easy when no one is around you to say, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to do it without a doubt. Right? And then a week, goes by and you're sitting at that same desk where you said that exact same thing. You haven't accomplished anything. I think we all can relate to that on a certain level. So if that's what you don't want to be, and if you want to accomplish things and sell around school, then you need to share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your assistant managers, and most of all, guys, share it with Mike. He's there to support you, bring you up. Author of a few books, phenomenal, very inspirational guy, has the ability to motivate an entire room in seconds. Guys, he's the person you should share this with at any point in time, with the company. If you're feeling off or if you're feeling super high, just both, whatever level, share it with Mike. Okay. So that being said, that's the first thing. Share it, tell people, find 3 people that you can use as a circle of influence to learn from, to grow from, and to mentor with, to better you. Okay, having a good circle of influence and a strong support structure are going to be the key foundational things in working consistently throughout school. Okay. And look, for some of you, that may be one best friend. It might be your dog. I'm not quite sure. It could be your grandparents, your mom and dad, Mike. But guys, realize that, we're all humans here. The people around you want the best for you. And I know you guys want the best for yourselves. So that comes with being vocal and sharing it with people. All right, number 2, we'll wrap things up in a minute here. Have fun. Seriously, right? Not kidding. Please write that down as much as you may not want to. I want you to write that down, okay? The irony of this job is that so many people take it extremely seriously. And I see it all the time, especially young people. They get caught up in this vigor of, oh, I'm in sales. I have to work, my tail end off, right, without any rest at all. And sure, I think hard work is a phenomenal thing. Trust me. I've put in my fair share, as I know you guys have, but there was nowhere in that where I said you couldn't have fun while doing so. And that means enjoying the company of the people that you're with. Raise your hand if you have laughed at this team meeting. Good. Okay. It's because you have someone like, Mike being able to coordinate and lead, and phenomenal culture within the office. Team night out, guys. Have you guys ever had fun on a demo? Is that something that's ever happened? Yeah. Have you ever eaten any remotely good food? Yeah. So guys, there's a lot of things to be appreciative of in this job. I think all too often, myself included, we get caught up in the work. Many people call it the grind, but to be quite frank, there's so much to take a step back and say, wow, I'm privileged just to be able to have this ability to interact with you guys, right? I know Mike can relate. We were just in Jamaica, and Jamaica is a place of very down-to-earth, very real people, but it's also a place that inhabits a lot of slums and incorporates a lot of poverty. So to have the privilege of a job like this, let alone be able to recognize that, guys, there's a lot of things we have to be thankful for. So have fun, smile. My mission on a demo, please write this down. Make Ms. Jones laugh 3 times. If you want to sell more Cutco, I'd be happy. If any of you guys want to email me, I'll give you my email at the end. I love talking about actually how to sell a lot of Cutco. That's not what I'm really here to talk about. But I like to make people laugh. And, I try my best, especially with Ms. Jones. If you make her laugh, she's going to buy a lot of Cutco. Don't worry about that. But if you make her laugh, you'll laugh a lot more in turn. You'll be happier. And one of those things, guys, as fellow brothers and sisters, especially people in the business, I want the best for you. I know Mike and I know Tyler know that. So have some fun, laugh, be lively, eat healthy, have energy. So that's number 2. The final thing I want you guys to write down today, and this is just one of those things as a grand total for anything in life, plan it out, okay? Absolute non-negotiable if you want to be successful in this business, in any business. Get a planner, buy a planner. If you don't have one, buy one like tonight, okay? Passion Planner is a great place to go online and get one. But anyone who's had the slightest bit of success within the organization will tell you very frankly, being able to plan out your schedule on a weekly and a monthly basis is by far the best thing that you can do for your well-being, okay? When you go into the week, okay, so many people, and there's no need to be bashful here, guys. It's 9:40 on a Wednesday. You guys are here for your well-being, your betterment. There's no hiding that. No need to be bashful. How many of you have ever had anxiety, even a little bit in this job before? Right? Yeah, it happens to a lot of people. A lot of people develop that anxiety from not knowing exactly what's going to go on and when. We think we know, I should rephrase that. We think we know exactly what's going to happen. We're just bombarded by the amount of things that we have to do in our schedule. So instead of having it all up here, write it down. Okay, just write it down on paper. It'll make your life 10 times easier and 10 times more efficient. You'll be happier. You'll know what you have going on in your schedule. And if someone asks you, hey, do you have time for a call, at 9:40 a.m. or something like that, you can check your schedule and respond accordingly. So does that make sense? Are we on the same page as to why a planner is beneficial?
Yeah, you're preaching it, man.
Good. Awesome, man. So I'm going to leave you guys with a quote here. And really quickly, before I say this, take my email down. It is Capreol H. It's CAPREOLH @gmail.com. If you have any questions, you can ask Mike. Guys, I really want to let you know very sincerely from the bottom of my heart, as someone who's been working this organization for quite some time, I've gotten to see a lot of people. I've been on the flip side. Trust me, I've been in the room looking at the guy on the screen, giving the talk and whatnot. You guys are a good group of people. I can tell you have a great head on your shoulders from the people that spoke, from the people that I know in the office. Keep doing great work. There's a lot to be said about your office, and I'm excited to see where things go for you. I know you guys can hit that 185. It's all about belief. Perception is reality. You have to have the confidence going in every day that, you're doing this for yourself and the people that you love and that love you. So the quote, if you're going to write down anything today, if you've been asleep, now's the time to wake up, write this down. This is a quote by Jim Rohn. If you guys don't know who Jim Rohn is, just go ahead, Google him, look him up. That'll do the works for you. Very influential man. And this is the quote that he said that's kind of resonated with me, resonated with our office. We all must suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So I want all of you individually to think very, very intensely about a decision in your life that you've made that may have been the easy route, the comfortable route. Now, looking back at that, I want you to try to imagine what shape you could be in right now if you would have made a different decision. And it kind of goes in hand with the butterfly effect. Small decisions can make a huge impact. So next time you go into making a decision, because life is all about making decisions, realize that you only grow your level of comfort when you step outside of the zone of comfortability. Okay. I'm not here, to give you guys a motivational talk. I'm here to let you know the real of how it is, to work and sell around school. It's a phenomenal thing to have the freedom and flexibility as a young person. I mean, do you guys love what you do? This is just such a phenomenal opportunity. I really can't thank the people in the business enough, especially Mike, just for the opportunity to teach and give back. Because guys, you have a silver platter right in front of you. Your job to take it. Mike can walk you to the water. He cannot drink for you. And that's for anything in life. So seriously, guys, I do want to thank you for your time tonight. You all are a really good group of people. And I'm happy to speak to any of you if you have any questions for the long term. It's been a pleasure.
Wow, man.
Thank
We thank you so much, Hunter. Let's give Hunter some love. Big round of applause. Gosh, that was much more than I bargained for, man. I so eloquent. So eloquent. This guy is 19 years old. When did you turn 20?
About a year.
So just newly 19 years old. I mean, wow. Such an impressive guy, man. And for you to dedicate to a group of strangers, you have to understand, there's a group of strangers. So you may never meet this guy ever.
You guys are great, man.
30 minutes of his, his night in between classes. Didn't you have a class tonight too?
I had a few today. Yeah.
He had a few classes. He just got back from his trip, but decided to still take a half hour of his life and, encourage and support a group of strangers. And I just met him yesterday. So I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And when we hit that 185, we'll be sure to send you some emails. So
please let me know.
And I have your address. So I'll mail you a couple books, man. And maybe I'll mail you a grab planner too. So that way you stop promoting Passion Planner and start promoting my grab planner.
There you go.
Come on, dude. We got grab planners. Appreciate you, dude. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike. All the best.
So to kind of wind up our meeting, just because we're a little back on time, just biggest light bulbs from each of you guys. Biggest light bulbs. Just go around the horn. Maybe two or three or four of you. So we'll go Ella and then Vincent.
I think one of my biggest ones is sharing stuff with your circle of influence. I remember at the beginning of working with the company, someone said like accountability buddy. So that's stuck with me, and being able to share stuff with people so they make sure you're actually doing it. Very beneficial.
Love it. Cool. And then we'll go Vincent and Tyler.
I like the quote, quote, when the why is strong enough, the how will follow, unquote. And that's exactly what life's about. I mean, you have to want it. And as soon as you want it bad enough, that's when changes happen. That's when you're going to start getting results.
Well, I had a conversation with someone today. It was, if you don't want to do the work here, then you're going to work for a boss that makes you do it, and then they're going to pay you way less than what you're worth. So it's either you make the decisions consciously on your terms, or you work for someone else on their terms. But you're going to do the work, or you're going to be homeless, you know. Then maybe Chelsea can throw a birthday party for you.
Oh my God.
So Tyler?
Yeah, one of the things he mentioned that the more time you put into something, the more invested you become. And I just think after 2.5 years here, it's so true. The longer you stick with it here, the more invested you become.
Love it. We'll go Chelsea, Trey, and then Brenda. If there's anyone else who wants to chime in, school.
My biggest takeaway was to have fun, because I like stress myself to the max with everything. So, you know, just like relax and enjoy it rather than freak out because I'm not doing everything I wanted to do.
Lighten up a little bit. I think that's good. Great reminder. Simple reminder, but a good one. Good. We'll go Trey and then Brenda. Oh, sweet. So have fun, lighten up a little bit. Love it. Brenda?
I actually really like that motivation comes in waves, but consistency is like, that's the truth.
Nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it. Discipline. Discipline's permanent, right? You take that anywhere you go.
Yeah.
That's why the kid has 60 grand saved. It doesn't matter. You know, it's like the habits. It's all about the habits. Yeah. He's an impressive 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Here's some of those words. I'm like, I wrote some of that.
What does that mean?
You know, like he's got more saved at 19 than most adults.
Oh, 100%.
Put that in perspective.
Oh,
Yeah.
top. I mean, 5% of the world.
Very normal.
You understand that 1%, 1% of the world, without a doubt. So we'll go Brianna.
I think it's very important. Definitely sharing your goals. I think the more you start to speak about it, the more you remind yourself, and you definitely like you're like when you're speaking to people, they tend to believe it more when you're like passionate about it.
100%. So let me wrap up our meeting with this. So I asked you to write down 2 numbers. If you want to change those numbers, you can change them. If you want to keep them the same, keep them the same. I invited Hunter. Did you guys like if I invite guest speakers? Is that cool?
Yeah.
I know you get sick. I know you get tired of me, you know. So next week I have another guest speaker who's going to talk. Her name is Bree Salee, and she has over 50 grand saved. She's 20 years old. She's about to graduate college with 50 grand saved, and she's going to be opening up. I believe she's actually from Indian Rocks. She grew up in this area, but lives up in Carolina now. She grew up here since.
She at SC too?
Yeah.
I think I talked.
She ran a branch.
Yeah.
One of the top in the region, number 2, I believe, right behind Andrew, I think. I don't know, but she's badass. Very impressive. She's been selling. She's done Cutler through college too, and she's going to be going district. She's has her district letter of intent, and she's going to be doing that with her marketing degree out of college, and then she'll pursue life after that. But very impressive young lady. So I was going to hog her just for TLA, but I'm going to have her speak to the entire team instead. So. So I had you guys write down 2 numbers. I need those 2 numbers, and here's why. I'm going to map out. I already gave you a number.
Yeah.
And so that way I know what I can expect from you guys. And all I'm asking is if you say the number, I'm going to ask you to have a conversation with me to put a plan together to make that happen. And be open-minded to what Hunter just talked about and actually make it real. And be willing to give the work to make it happen. So if you want to change it, lower it, higher, doesn't matter. I just want the number. As soon as I get the number, staff, just stick around. I'll make it quick because he went a little bit over, which is totally fine. But just give me that number, and then we'll roll. We'll roll out. We'll do the raffle, and then you guys will be good to go. Just check out your coach. You know, if you're not a coach, check out your coach. If you are a coach, then you'll check out with me. So we'll go down the line. I'm just going in order of what I have on my sheet, so in no particular order. So Amanda, so the next 11 weeks, and Oli and push.
So I have 10K, and I really want to do another 10K push. So So I want to do 10K for the next 11 weeks.
And you're just gonna do all 10K
Yeah.
and to push?
Yeah, I want to do a 10K push and then.
The 20K.
So she wants to do 20.
Wait, so.
No. So there's two different numbers. So one is a push total, and then one is an 11-week number.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you. Find out that because the 10 weeks is included in
Oh,
your 10. Yeah, 10K is included in that week. So who has their 2 numbers?
Okay.
So we'll go Chels, and Tyler, and then we'll go Spencer. So let me find you guys. Cool. Chels?
So 7K for the whole thing, and then for the push-up, the 3K.
Cool. And then Ella?
I want to do 12K for the next 11 weeks and 7,500 for the push. Wait, yeah, is that right?
Cool. Tyler?
5K for the push, 10 for the campaign, or the 11 weeks campaign.
Repeat it one more time.
5 for the push, 10 for the next 11 weeks.
10K and 5K, you said? Cool. Spence?
I have 10 for the campaign and 3 for the push.
Cool. Vincent?
6 for campaign, 2 for push.
And now we'll just go, who am I missing? Kaylee, Trey, Brenda,
I have 7 for the campaign and 3 for the push.
Trey,
12 for the campaign and 8 for the push.
Brenda,
3 for the campaign, 2 for the push.
you said 3 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, come back to me now. So 20 for the campaign and 10 for the push.
Is that anyone? Is that everyone? Oh, Brianna?
10 for the 11 week.
No, you got mapped out 5K for the campaign. You're raising that? I'm okay with raising it.
Why don't you just meet it in the middle?
Repeat one more time.
10K for the 11 weeks and then 2 for the.
Cool. Anybody in virtual land still? See iPhone, but. Alright, I'm just gonna end this.